But there are other ways to wage revolution. When we were with the Panthers, a lot of times we made changes without firing a shot.
Well, maybe you should have.
Maybe. But then violence becomes a story, not justice. And you end up dead or in jail. And the worst part of it, that's exactly what they want to happen. Not only do you lose, but they win.
Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If you'd be so kind, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hello, everybody's listening to Dream of Consciousness podcast, and this is Boka, Ratos de Porão drummer.
And Boka, I have to mention that this is your second time on this podcast. We met, I believe, in 2019 when you were touring Asia.
Yeah. I believe 2017 or 19.
2017.
17.
Oh yeah, you're correct. 2017. Yeah.
2017.
So welcome back. Well, I guess let's start with RDP. Since 2017, what have you guys been up to?
Well, we were touring and having fun on the road and making concerts whenever and wherever possible, you know. But for the last years, we have slowed down touring, you know, because Gordo has a health condition, so it's really hard for him to tour a lot, and we are getting old. So I believe it's like something that we could predict. Like the band is getting older, so we're going to slow down touring. But here in Brazil, we play almost every week, So from the release of the Século Sinistro record in 2014, we played almost everywhere that we think were relevant to do, and also this Asian tour, as you mentioned, But 18 and 19, we were playing shows, and after that, for obvious reasons, with all this COVID and pandemic problems, we had to stop doing everything. So after 17. So 17, 18, and 19 were just playing shows and trying to find a way to make new music and have a new record sometime. So because of the pandemic, everything had to be delayed, But we finally have the record, and we are back on the road.
So let's speak about that record. It's called Necropolítica, and it was released, as we're having this conversation, it was released quite recently. Can you tell me a little bit about when you guys actually started working on the record?
Well,
when did you start writing music for this?
Yeah. It's pretty weird, because with all this problem that we were living, everybody was like locked in their own places, So our guitar player, Jean, we used to speak on WhatsApp, Zoom, wherever, and he was keeping telling us, well, I have a bunch of riffs, some cool ideas. And so here in Brazil, as I believe like everywhere else, we had this lockdown, and then things were flexible again, but we were not like meeting each other and entering in a studio to practice, So we took like 2 years with these quarantine problems, But when we were able to get together, Jean already had like this, I don't know, man, 20, 30 different ideas for songs. So he and the bass player Juninho were like meeting regularly to like clear the ideas and make the skeleton for the music, So when they got ready, they told me, well, come to São Paulo to practice with us, So I went there to learn the songs. So it's basically the most weird record that we made, because we didn't practice much. We didn't like work that much on the songs, It was really like natural and some sort of raw compositions, Said, well, this is the music and this is what it is, We're not going to like prove different formulas or change riff parts, introductions, this kind of things, It was like pretty natural and fast. So as we entered the studio to record the album last October, we didn't practice that much, and myself, I didn't know how to play the songs really well, So it was really crazy to record like this, but this is what we had, the conditions. So I believe in the end, the result's pretty cool. People are really enjoying the music because it brings us back in the crossover days of the band, like the late 80s or this kind of period. So people are really related with this period of the band, this era. So it was pretty much this way, man. Really crazy without practicing much. I say, let's do it, and we spitted everything out, and the record is there now.
Prior to the pandemic, on previous albums, what was the songwriting process like? Did it usually start with Zhao writing the guitar parts?
Not necessarily, because we most like make music or write songs jamming together, And so sometimes I'm jamming myself with Jean, sometimes I'm jamming with only Juninho, sometimes they're jamming together without me. So we pretty much write music together, like on the studio, like having the ideas, putting it out and already start playing, try to figure out the best way to do it. And we also, when we have the ideas, we try different things on the same riffs or try to move the parts. I mean, a slow part of the song with the fast one, we change positions and everything. But this time we didn't have the chance. It was something really new to all of us, But in the end, I believe it was cool, like a different experience, a different way to make music and record for us,
And how complete were the songs on this album before you heard them?
Wow. I don't know, man. I believe when we entered the studio, the songs were like, wow, this is what it is. We're not going to change anything, But I myself, I had to learn a lot of things on the studio on the day of the recording, So I was pretty insecure, like, well, is this really sounding good at all, But in the end, after a while, after recording it, and when we came back to studio for mixing, all these thoughts, they just went away, because we started to listen to the music. I said, man, no, this is cool, man. There's no problem there, there's nothing. It's okay, But as I was trying to explaining to you, we were not used to make music and record this way. But it was the situation. So, as I said, it was new for us. But in the very end, all of us four, we got really happy with the end result.
Now, you mentioned that the feeling of the album is close to the old crossover days. Was that intentional, or was that also, as you described, part of the circumstances, part of the situation?
Well, I believe that was the music that we just came out, because I have to say we had like 3 or 4 ideas that we recorded in a computer, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and it got some kind of lost in Juninho's computer, But when Jean started to tell us that he had these ideas, these riffs, we kind of like resuscitate these really old songs. But as every Ratos de Porão album, when we started to make music, to write songs, we never think, wow, we want to sound like this now. I mean, we want to sound like more hardcore, more thrash metal, more old school. We are going to make some new experiments, nothing like that, We just start to write music and it comes out the way it should, like in that moment, I believe most of the times it reflects what we are listening to the moment. So maybe Jean was listening to a lot of thrash metal and crossover for the late 80s, so that's why these ideas came out. But I believe the music is like on the RDP style, But I believe it sounds more like the late 80s, the crossover days, like a more old school music without not many new elements or maybe none of new things, just like pure old school hardcore and thrash metal.
Do you want to speak about the lyrics a little bit? I know your singer handles most of that on his own, but I don't know if you want to say anything about the themes of the album.
Well, all the lyrics they are talking about the political situation here in Brazil now, because we have a right-wing party, a right-wing fascist on the power. So everybody's really mad at him now, and with all these these problems that we passed with the quarantines, with the coronavirus and everything. The attitude of the government here was really, really horrible, you know. So most of the lyrics are talking like this situation here, like having the right wing party on the power, you know, like it really sucks because it's totally against what we believe, and situation is really bad. We will have election now this year, in the end of the year, so we all want that these people go away of the power, you know. Maybe we can make this change, but most of the lyrics are talking about this last 4 years of government here in Brazil. It really sucks, you know.
You know, it's interesting. In 2017, when we were speaking, you mentioned that you were worried about the political situation and you were worried about the government becoming much more right-wing and much more dictator-like. Did things get worse than you were expecting?
Well, here in Brazil now, it's much worse. I believe for the last, maybe it's the worst ever, no, because right wing sucks at all. We really hate it, but I believe these right wings and right ideas, you know, I believe it's a global tendency, you know, because we see, like in a lot of countries, the right party, if they don't win, they are really close to that, you know. I believe I see it in a lot of different countries that have the election for the last, I don't know, 10 years. We are seeing this right party and right fascist ideas like rising, you know. So it's a process that we are living in history. So as somebody says, in the past, the history repeats itself, you know. So maybe a lot of people got frustrated with the style of the government they had in the past. So all these right people, they come out as a savior, you know, as somebody that's gonna fix everything, and all these populists and the style of, oh, we are the savior, you know. The same speech that Hitler has in the past to become the leader of Germany, you know. It's right party, man, right ideas. The fascists, is the same speech, you know. It's just like, let's say, translated for the new times, you know, the times we are living in now. But I believe it's a global tendency, not only here in Brazil, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that I felt when I was, you know, I don't speak Portuguese. I know a few words, but just looking at the song titles, it's very much reflective of what's going on in the US, what's going on in the UK. Even here in Malaysia, we elected a more moderate government in 2018, and people were hoping that the government would become more democratic. And then what happened was, because of COVID, people lost faith in the democratically elected government, and then a nationalist party took power. And then people lost faith in the nationalist party, and then now we're back to the old government. And if you look in the Philippines, Marcos just won. You know, like 40 years ago, they got rid of Marcos, and now his son is in power. And it's like, you know, like all over the world, people are scared, and they're voting in these right-wing governments. So I think the album is very reflective of what's happening globally, what's happening worldwide.
Yeah. Two things. If you got the record yourself, you will see that on the booklet it has the translation for every lyric, you know, so people could figure it out and have a better idea what the lyrics are about, you know. But, you know, as you were talking about, man, the democracy is a lie, you know. It's just people in power like letting you think that you're making part of everything, that of something, you know, like, no, we are going to vote and we're going to change. We don't change a shit, you know. So this is the times we are living, you know. Democracy, I mean, the democracy, the system of voting for some party or some people to represent you, you know, it's in my beliefs, it's a lie, you know. But I have like an utopia for my beliefs, for how the world should be, like political and economically, you know. So I live in a utopia. I don't believe in democracy the way it is. So it's a different discussion. But as I said, you can get the translations if you get the record, so you have a better idea of the lyrics.
So the last time we spoke, you mentioned that RDP's lyrics are like punk rock journalism, reflecting the world that you see. Was the intention, I mean, you know, it's a very extreme time that we're living in. Was the intention to put out the album now also to document what's happening? Do you guys feel like you have to comment on what's happening in the world?
Well, it's just the way Gordo writes the lyrics, you know, because we are not a band that like speaks out as a ideology, you know, or like standing for some flag or some political line, you know. Gordo, his lyrics are much more like telling people on his way, on his like sarcastic and macabre way, what's happening in our faces every day, you know. But most of his lyrics are pretty much local issues, you know, things that we are living here in Brazil. It's something very, very clear on his lyrics, you know. But we didn't intend to make the record because of what we are living in, you know. I mean, we are a band, we tour and make records. We don't make records like much often because, as I said in the beginning, we are an older band. We have more than, I don't know, I believe this is the album number 14 of the band, you know, I mean, studio album. So we don't need to write a new record like every 2 years to go out on tour or nothing like that, you know. We just write music and record when we have the idea and when we think it's cool, you know. Yeah, and this is what was left for us in those two last year, you know, write some music. So this is what we did, and now luckily we are getting back to the road and playing shows. You know.
I'd like to speak about the recording of the album a little bit. Can you tell me about the studio that you guys went to?
It was Family Mob Studios here in São Paulo, the same studio that we recorded our last album. It's a pretty cool studio with very good equipment, and we like to go there because it's not the kind of studio that like only digital sound oriented, you know. They have the mics, the equipments, the compressors, all this equipment. I mean, most of the equipment are more like analog oriented, you know. So it sounds much more in the way, much more like in the way that we believe the band should sound, you know. But we went to a different studio to mix with a longtime friend and a producer here in Brazil. The name of this studio is Rocha. So we recorded in the Family Mob Studios, as we did on the last Século Sinistro album in 2014. But we went to somewhere else to mix it because we really like this guy. He's really good, and the studio that he's working is really good as well. And as I said, he's a longtime friend, a guy who is into the kind of music that we are playing. So it was really easy to work with him and search for old school references to the sound, to the way that we want to mix it. So it was really easy to work with him. Fernando, his name is Fernando Takara.
Now, did Fernando also engineer the album in terms of?
No. We engineer with Davi, who used to work with us as a sound engineer, live sound engineer. We went to Family Mob to record with him as an engineer, Davi. But we went to Rocha Studio to mix with Fernando, mix and master with him.
You mentioned Fernando is a longtime friend. What would you say he brings to your sound?
Well, working with friends, it's always easier, you know. But as he grew together with us, I mean, he's a little bit younger, but when we talk about music, the bands that we like, the period, the style of the song, the style of the recording, it's really easy with him, you know. So it was like something that we all said at the same time, no, let's do it with Fernando because he's a friend and he knows a lot about this kind of music. He's a fan of the band and everything. So that's why we choose him. And he can translate what we want in the sound technically, you know, because he works in the studio for more than 20 years, you know. So when we ask him something that we don't have any idea of how to make it technically, he's the guy who knows about, he has the knowledge of the music, of the period, of the style, and also have the knowledge technically, you know. So he was like the easiest person that we thought that could be good to work with us. And of course, as he has this knowledge on music, he contributed like tremendously to this record, you know, because every time we come up with some idea, said, no, I know how to do it, I know how it sounds, and then mentions some band that could sound the same on that period, like the late 80s, you know. So his contribution was really huge to the sound that we got in the end.
Necropolítica, necropolítica. Fantasia
So, as you mentioned, this will be the 14th album for RDP, and I believe the 40th anniversary of the band was in October of last year. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was the last October, yeah.
So, with all this history, with all this experience, is there anything that you still want to do with the band? Anything you want to accomplish?
Well, playing in this band is what we have been doing for most of our lives, you know. So being in a band I am with them for the last 31 years of my life, and the band is 40 years plus, you know. But we don't have much plans. We never make plans, you know. I mean, we are friends, a long-time friends. We like to travel, play live music, travel to meet all the people, all the friends that we have made for this long journey, you know. So playing in this band for us is more like enjoying. Well, we'll play a show, we're gonna travel, everybody's happy, and play music together. We have a strong connection, like musically, you know. To have a band is really important, to have people that work and function together as a band, you know. So when people ask me about that, well, do you still have something to make, like making a new accomplishment or something like that? I always think, man, we achieved much more that we could think, you know, and maybe much more that we deserve at all. We are really lucky. I mean, being a band for so long, traveling all around, meeting all these people, have this lifestyle for decades, you know. We are pretty lucky. So I couldn't ask for more. I mean, when I started to play the drums, I mean, maybe not even in my biggest dreams, I would say that I will be, or that I will do everything that I did with this band. And I believe all of us have the same thoughts about that, because we always talk about it, you know, like, man, do you believe that we are 40 years old then and playing all around, having all these records and people who likes the music and get involved, like in every corner of the world, you know. It's pretty much unbelievable, you know. So I couldn't ask for more. I don't know if we want to make any, like, we need to do this to complete the cycle or to make it all perfect. I don't see it this way, you know.
And how do you think people will remember RDP?
I don't know, man. It's a tough question, but maybe like 4 guys from the third world, from Brazil, that were like maniacs for music and that always play a crazy set and makes everybody happy, you know. And I don't know, man. When I got like really old, not playing live music no longer, the only thing I want to think and remember is that we make people happy when we play the live show and we spread our message, you know. And people, when they remember us, it's going to be like good memories. And I can't deny that we are part of a lot of people's lives, you know, because when you listen to music, I mean, when music is your life, every band that you like is like at some point part of your life, part of your life, because there's when you listen to the music, or when you remember that specific band, you will remember a period of your life or something that was happening. Maybe the music of the band helped you to come through something, So I believe this is the most important things, that people will remember us and say, "Well, I was happy when I saw these guys like ripping on a live concert."
So the latest album by RDP is called Necropolítica, and it's out now. Boka, what's the best way to get the album? How can people order it?
Well, as we were speaking offline, nowadays everything is pretty easy. Just Google the name and everything is going to appear. But if you live in Asia, US, or Europe, the best way to order it is through the FOAD Records website. So just enter the Google and type FOAD Records, or I believe the website is foadrecords.com. But if it's not, you Google it and you'll find it. You'll find it on the Instagram, on the Facebook. Today it's pretty easy, man. There's no secret. Just type it on the Google and everything is going to appear to you.
And if people want to follow RDP online, how can they do that? And what's the correct way to spell the band name?
Well, if do you want me to spell it?
Please.
So it's RATOSDEPORAO. So Ratos de Porão is on the Instagram, is on the Facebook, is on the Twitter, is on the YouTube, is everywhere on the web, So just type it. You can also type RDP. It works too.
Excellent. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, man, I'm fine, and I'm just seeing now that this battery of the mobile is going to end like in a split second, So maybe I'm gonna start to talk and it's gonna cut it,
Excellent. Muito obrigado.
Obrigado, my brother. Thanks for everything. And I hope people enjoy the music, and I also hope to come back to Asia sometime.
Yeah, we hope to see you soon, Boka. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you, brother. Bye-bye. Good night.
Ostentação, uma vexame, papelão, vergonha mundial, chacota internacional.